Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host, LJ Young. Looking at myself here because I cut myself just before. So never shave just before a live, okay? Because it's very, very irritating. So if you see me doing this every now and then, it's just because I cut myself right here and just don't want that showing, just before. Again, never shave just before a live, okay? Don't ever do that. Anyway, as always, I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes to get up in here, and then we're gonna get started. Today is going to be a review of an article sent in by an SMD family member by the name of Tim. Okay, and we're gonna go over this. It's pretty good, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read it. In a way to how things are outside of the debt matrix. What's up, Quentin? What's going on? Sorry, like I said before, you guys see me doing this. It's because I shaved just before I got on live. Anyway, I'm going to read it to you as how we see things outside the debt matrix. And when I say we, I'm saying because I'm not the only one. That'd be idiotic to believe that I have some special power or gift or anything. It's not really anything. It's just I trust mathematics and slaves do not, right? So one thing I've realized, slaves don't see negative numbers, okay? Slaves do not see negative numbers. So anyway, since I do see negative numbers and since I do trust mathematics when it comes to finances, everything, the whole financial world is different. Okay. Sorry. My whole financial world is different. So we're going to read this article in a way. I'm trying to think of some words, how to say it, but I guess the best way is to show you. So in about 30 more seconds, we're going to get started. And then I'm going to introduce myself. And then I am going to read this article to you how I see it. Okay. I'm not gonna say now this article review is not something to say the article's a liar or the whoever's writing it is a fraudster or trying to get over on you. No, it's nothing like that. Okay. The only thing I'm going to do is do it from a mathematically true perspective. Okay. That's the only thing when it comes to finances. So when it comes to, always remember this, if it doesn't make mathematical sense, it cannot make financial sense. Okay. Not it doesn't make financial sense. It cannot make financial sense. CENTS. All right. All right. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. For those of you that do not know me, sorry, I shaved early just before the live. So I apologize for doing this. I just need to get this to stop bleeding. Anyway, my name is LJ Young, and I'm a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them mathematically see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where everybody lives that believes in credit and debt and financing everything that goes down in value. This is where slaves live, unconscious slaves and conscious slaves. All right. Unconscious slaves do not trust mathematics, and they don't know they don't trust mathematics, and they also don't see negative numbers. Okay. Unconscious slaves have no idea negative numbers exist, because if they did, they would know they're not homeowners. They would know they didn't get the car on sale after financing it for 72 months, right? They will know not to ever to have student loans older than your children, right? If they believed in negative numbers, that's what they would know. All right. So an unconscious slave, again, unconscious slave don't trust mathematics, don't know they don't trust mathematics, and they don't they don't understand negative. They don't realize negative numbers exist. Okay. Conscious slaves are slaves that now trust mathematics and they're doing whatever it takes to get out of the debt matrix. Okay. They're working 5 jobs, no more vacations. They don't care what their friends think. So what if they talk about that they don't have the latest iPhone? They don't care because they have a goal and they're getting out of debt. They don't care what slaves think. So when you guys hear me say things like that, I don't care what slaves think. What I'm really saying is this: I don't care how slaves feel about mathematics. Okay, I don't really care how they feel about it. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. So if they believe they're homeowners while knowing that math is not true, that's how they feel about it. Okay, whatever. Right now, if you're just checking in, if you've never heard anyone speak like this before, so let me help you understand what I mean when I say that. Right. So take your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance equals if you're a homeowner or not. Take your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance equals how much equity you have. All right. Now, here is imagine you and I are at the exit door of the debt matrix. Okay. This is where you're going to be able to, the only thing you have to do to get out the debt matrix is believe the number that you see on your calculator. So pull out your calculator and put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance. Okay. All right. Now look at that number. It's going to be a large negative number. In order for you to get out of the debt matrix, you have to believe what you see on your calculator. If you choose not to believe what you see on your calculator and look around you and you see this beautiful house you're living in and this great job you're working at and this brand new car that you're making payments on outside that driveway in front of the nice house, you will stay in the debt matrix until you're dead. Okay? Believe the illusion or not. Okay? Sorry, I shaved just so you guys know I'm doing this. I'm waiting for this to stop bleeding. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we're at the door. So I'm going to show you what it's like when you decide to go through the door. Okay. This is what your world will be like after you get out of the debt matrix. You're going to have to unlearn everything you've been taught about credit. Think you need credit to get anything. You got to have credit to get a house, car, clothes, shoes. None of that is true. Only slaves believe that. Now, I lived there inside the debt matrix for the first 40 years of my life, woke up, found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey basically said, apply the math that you learned in grade school to your finances and you'll win with money. And that's what I did. And now I'm free. All right. So once you get out of debt, you go to another level of, you understand what the difference between money and currency. Once you get out of debt, you'll realize money is not real. The only thing that exists is currency. That's why they call it currency. It doesn't matter where it's at. You go to another country, it's called what? Currency. Doesn't matter what language. It doesn't matter if you go to Japan. What do they call it? Yeah, it's called currency. Yeah, it's called currency. It's all the same because it doesn't exist for slaves. Now, this is a tough one to understand. Okay. All right. So this is what I want you to do. I'm going to bring you to the exit door of the debt matrix. Okay. How do you get out? All right. So you can understand what I mean. So you can understand, say, the dollar doesn't exist. Bitcoin, for surely, cryptocurrency, all that bullshit, that definitely doesn't exist. Okay. You can't touch it. You can't feel it. But yet millions believe in it and millions believe that they have money in there. A lot of people believe that, right? So this is what I want you to do. I want you to take a $20 bill and hold it in your hand. And now you must do this on a calculator, okay? You must do this on a calculator. So open up your calculator app and then hold the $20 bill in your hand. Then I want you to go in your calculator, $20 minus your student loan debt. If you got several student loans, just pick one. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which one you pick. Just pick one of them. Then go $20 minus your student loan debt equals how much money you have in your hand. Now, here we are at the exit door to the debt matrix. This is how you get to the door. You must believe what's on your calculator. The answer that you see on your calculator, you must believe it. If you believe what's on your calculator, You can exit. But if you choose not to believe the numbers that you see on your calculator that you put in with your own hand, and you believe you still got $20 in your hand, you will stay in the debt matrix until you're dead. Okay? Now, replace that 20 with a bar of gold, an ounce of gold. Ounce of gold. So this is what I want you to do so you guys can understand how this works. I want you to look up how much is an ounce of gold worth today. Okay. The time doesn't matter. Just look it up today. And then I want you to take that amount and say, take that amount minus your student loan debt equals how much gold is worth to you. Now, here you go. This is where you're going to exit the debt matrix. You're going to look at your calculator. If you want to exit the debt matrix, you will clearly see that gold is worth absolutely nothing to you. Nothing. But if you choose to not believe your calculator and believe that you really have gold in your hand, you will stay in the debt matrix until you're dead. Shout out to Zeke for the $49.99 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. Very humbling. Thank you. Thank you. Love your work, brother. I will be setting up a consultation with you eventually. I got to get the time to set aside. I know you will. So crazy. I can always tell the people that are going to be getting a consultation. That's clear. That is crystal clear who's going to be doing it. I promise you. All right. So we're going to get into this. This article. Okay. And I am going to read it. I'm going to bring you guys that live in the debt matrix. I'm going to bring you outside the debt matrix without being out of debt. Okay? I'm going to bring you outside of it. All right? So you can understand. And when you hear me read this article, I want you to remove your feelings from this article. All right? So let me give you an example of what I mean by that. 1 + 1 = 2. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about my answer? 1 + 1 = 2. How do you feel about it? Exactly. There's nothing to feel. It's just 2, right? Now, if I turned to you and said, hey, you know what? I feel like 1 + 1 should equal 3. That's what I feel like. I feel like it should equal 3. You would look at me like I'm absolutely bonkers nuts. You would look at me like, well, I don't care how you feel. It's 2. That's what I mean. Okay. So if whatever I'm saying makes the math is true, it doesn't matter how you feel about it. All right. All right. So we're going to let me bring this article up here and share it. And we're going to read through it. All right. What's that do? Oh, let's do this whole thing. Okay. I can make the whole thing big. All right. All right, so this is what we're going to do here. Okay, we're going to read through this article. Now, the link to this full article is in the description of this video. All right. Now I'm going to flip to the other side. All right, here we go. All right. 7 reasons to carry mortgage debt into retirement. That title alone is for slaves. The title alone is for the purpose of slaves, unconscious slaves. This is why they wrote it. Because they know you're going to carry a mortgage into retirement. They already know that. Millions of you do it already. You guys already do it. Millions of you do it. That's why. So when you read this article and you're already made up in your mind that you're never going to pay off your mortgage, you are the only one in denial about that, slaves. You are. Because if you have student loans that are older than your mortgage, you're never paying off your mortgage because you never paid off your student loans. You're not doing that. They know that. That's why they started this article the way they did. Okay. Now, it often makes financial sense to not pay off your mortgage before retiring. Again, that's for slaves. You already know in your mind that you're not going to be paying off your mortgage, so you're going to look at that and be attracted to it. Oh, wow. Wow, cool. It makes sense not to do it. Cool, that's right up my alley. We know it's slave. They know that. Here we have two older people smiling on a porch. Why are they there smiling? For you. To make you feel as if it's the right thing to do. Look at that house. Look at that well manicured porch. Look at all that stuff. That's for you, slaves. So you will look at that and imagine that that's you on a house that's not even yours. If you don't pay off your mortgage, that house that they're sitting on, that's not even their house. They're just smiling for you on the bank's porch. Okay, let's keep going. Paying off a home mortgage before you retire is a common goal, but it isn't always the best financial strategy. That sentence right there makes absolutely no mathematical sense whatsoever in any mathematical law in the fucking world. That doesn't even make any sense. It's not wise to pay off something that you owe or that you're paying interest on. You mean to tell me if I paid my house off and immediately stopped paying interest, which happens if I pay my house off, I'm not paying interest anymore. So that immediately plugs the hemorrhaging in my bank account. You mean that's not a good strategy? That's for slaves. It could end up costing you in the long run. What could? Oh, paying off a house could end up costing me in the long run. No, it can end up it's going to save me money in the long run. Not gonna, not shoulda, not kinda, it is. Such as by leaving you without cash savings to cover an unexpected expense, or without the flexibility to take advantage of an opportunity to earn a better return on your money. All that whole statement is designed for slaves. Open up your calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance equals your emergency fund. Mortgage payment, open up your calculator. You got to see this. This is very important so you can see it. Don't just take my word for it. Mortgage payment minus mortgage balance equals your emergency fund. Okay? All right. Here are some financial shrewd reasons to carry your mortgage debt into retirement. I have no idea what that even means. Here are some financially shrewd reasons. Shrewd to who? Okay, whatever. You plan to sell your home. You can do that. If you own your house, you can sell it. Okay, it's still good. Okay, whatever. All right. Many people decide to downsize before retirement. They find that a smaller, less expensive home better fits the retirement lifestyle, as we detailed in 7. Now, let me explain something to you here. If you pay your big house off now, if you decide to downsize, you sell your big house, take all that money, because it's definitely going to be more money than a smaller house. You take that money and then you pay for your smaller house in cash. And plus you'll have leftover money from the sale of the big one. If you think you may be selling your home soon, think hard before paying off the mortgage at the home. Selling a dwelling may provide money to repay your home loan what? If you think you may be selling. Now, when I read this over, I'm trying to read what they're saying to you, slaves, not to me, because this statement means absolutely nothing to me. Okay, I want you to, it means nothing. Whatever they're writing in there doesn't mean anything. They're not talking to me, they're talking to you. Okay. If you think you may be selling your home soon, think hard before paying off the mortgage on that home. Why would I think hard about that? Okay. Selling a dwelling. Why'd you replace dwelling with home? Why'd you do that? May provide money to repay your home loan without having to deplete savings. All right, whatever. You plan to rent out your home or room. Does your retirement plan include relocating and renting out your present home? There's no pressing need to pay off a home loan if the tenant's rent payments will cover you. Okay, This sounds like the bank. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, the bank is writing this. Okay, the bank has hired somebody to write this in a way to where it sounds appealing to you, slaves. They want you to keep your house. If you put it this way, if you've been making 20-year mortgage payment, 25 years, 30 years mortgage payment, over 30 years of mortgage payments, and you still believe that house is yours, they want you to keep that money coming in. Okay. So they make you believe that you're going to have, okay. You could avoid tapping into savings to pay off the loan. They might even realize a profit after your mortgage bill is paid. You could avoid tapping into savings to pay. Okay, first of all, you have no savings. I want you guys to understand something. Mortgage payment minus mortgage balance equals your savings. So you have no savings. Okay, it's not there. It doesn't exist. Okay. You might even realize profit after your mortgage bill is. No, you're not. No, you're not. That could be true even if you remain in the home and simply rent out a spare room through a vacation. A 2008 analysis by Homes.com found that in some cities, a homeowner can make enough money by renting out a room just 4 or 5 nights per month to cover monthly mortgage payment. Okay, first of all, you're not a homeowner if you have a mortgage. Okay, they're using homeowner in the wrong context, but if you believe you're a homeowner while having a mortgage, you just believe it, right? Because right at the end, it says to rent it out to cover the monthly mortgage payment. If you have a mortgage payment, that's the bank's house. Okay, they're just trying to tell you how to keep their money coming in. They're giving you ideas on what you do to keep paying them. Okay. It's more important to repay debts with higher interest rates. Before you commit to paying off a mortgage, determine whether there are better ways to spend your money. The bank's be coming up with some good stuff, man. That's some good stuff. Okay, what's a better way to spend my money, bank? You're going to, there's an example. Okay. For example, if you purchased or refinanced a home, not only finance the house once, but if you financed it twice, the same house, finance one house 2 times, okay? That right there should be a huge red flag, all right? Finance the home in the past decade, your home loan likely has a relatively low interest rate. And if that's the case, you will be better off financially if you first repay debts with higher interest rates, such as credit card debt. So let me explain to you what they just told you to do. The house is not yours. Okay, that's number one. So you can't get money from a house that you don't own. So you refinance the bank's house and you borrow money from the bank's house, and you believe you're going to take the bank's money and pay off the bank's credit cards. That's what you believe. But what you also don't understand is that they know once you take that money and pay off the credit cards, you're not going to close the credit cards because it's programmed into you to believe that you need credit cards for an emergency. So you're not going to close them because I guarantee you're going to have an emergency vacation, emergency baby shower, emergency family reunion, emergency something. They know you're going to have it. Okay. You're still saving for retirement. You can't save for retirement while you're in debt. Add it, open up your calculator, take your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance equals your retirement. That's your retirement right there. So where are you going on that? Where are you going to retire on that money? Okay. Not everyone completes their career with enough money to enjoy comfortable retirement. That's why many Americans continue to work after age 65, the traditional retirement age. Okay. 90% of you don't do that. That completes their career with enough money to enjoy a comfortable retirement. That's 90% of you. Okay, that's nothing new. It is. That's why many Americans work after age 65, the traditional retirement age. Who says the retirement's an age? Who says that? Slaves, unconscious slaves. You guys never asked this question. Who says the retirement age is 65? Who said that? So Casper? Who said that? The Wizard of Oz? Who's saying that? The retirement age is up to you. But If you don't know that, you're going to believe that, because at the end of this sentence, they said the traditional retirement age. Says who says the traditional retirement age? If you're contributing to a retirement account, such as an individual retirement account, IRA, 401k, it may make more sense to use extra money you have to build a retirement savings rather than to repay the mortgage ahead of schedule. Okay, listen. Take your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance equals how much money you have to contribute to an IRA, to a 401k, to a MBA, to whatever, pension, whatever. That's how much money you have to contribute. Now this is the glitch in the debt matrix. You gotta ask yourself, if you put this information in your calculator and you see that it's a large negative number, you see it with your own eyes, but you still believe you have money to put in a retirement account, that's a glitch in the debt matrix, because you're not believing on what you're seeing on the calculator. All right, let's see. Oh, Job, they do slaves so dirty. Retirement account, they make retirement accounts look like they're for you, but they're not. They're not for you, because you have no money to put in a retirement account. So it's really for them. I promise you, it's a huge tax write-off. It's got to be. Okay. Retirement accounts are tax advantaged, yes, for if you're not in debt. Let me make sure something's clear. Okay. If you're not in debt, that is the only time you can take advantage of the tax advantage of savings. Because, put it this way, if you've never been able to max out a 401k in 1 year, like say like right now, most of you see that the maximum 401k in a year is $19,500. If you've never been able to max out a 401k, you are in debt. You're a slave. Okay, you're mad. The match that you see, let me make sure you guys understand something so you can get it. Okay. Take your mortgage payment, put it in your calculator. I want to make sure you put it in your calculator, okay? Mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance equals how much money you have to get a match. So those of you that believe you're getting a 401k match, right? This large negative number is how much money you have to get a match. What are you doing? Matching negative? No, you're not. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. You have nothing in there. Like here, let me give you another example, okay? So you guys can get it, all right? Now, when your retirement's in 401k, right, you could go 3, 4, 5 years logging into your account and looking at your retirement money, and then all of a sudden a crash happens, a stock market crash, and then all of a sudden you're losing money. You got to think to yourself, what do you mean losing money? What are you talking? So that was a lie all those previous years? Yes. That money doesn't exist. That's why it's disappearing. Put it this way. Say like you had $5,000 in your savings account, and then the stock market crashed, okay? I guarantee you, if you log back into your account, your savings account, your $5,000 is still going to be there. How come it disappears in your 401k? Because it's not yours. You're low on cash reserves. You have no money. Maintaining an emergency fund is critical for financial stability. You have no money. If paying off a mortgage will drain cash reserves, you have no money to pay off a mortgage. So don't even worry about it. This is for you, slaves. It could leave you in a weakened position. You're already there. No one can predict when an emergency fund will happen. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. If you get out of debt and you always have money, no emergency will sneak up on you. It can't. You always have money to fix it. Okay? All right. Corey Vandenberg, a mortgage banker in Lafayette, that they give you the title so you'll be impressed with the next statement. Okay? That's why they do that for you slaves, because his title means nothing. Want to make sure that's clear. It means absolutely nothing. I don't care what his college degree is. I don't care where he went to school. If he's in debt, I don't listen to people. I don't listen to slaves. Okay? Because if you put it this way, if you find whoever this Corey person is, click on his name and look him up. I'm sure they'll do all his titles. If you could see his personal credit report and he's in debt with student loans, that makes it even worse. Okay? A banker that doesn't know they're in debt, that's even worse. Okay? Says people who pay off their mortgages early often end up with lots of home equity, but no money in the bank. That last line is to scare you. Corey works for the bank, obviously. Oh, yeah, he told us that. He's a mortgage banker. He works for the bank. Sorry, he's doing exactly what he's told to do. To scare you, slaves. If you pay your house off, the bank gets no more money. They don't want that. So they say, woo, if you pay your house off, you ain't going to have no more money. You don't have any money now. This position is not financially healthy. He tells Money Talks News, you have to have an emergency fund for life's unexpected events. Slave talk. You'd rather maximize income through invest. If you pay off your mortgage, you will have less cash to invest. Much of your wealth will be tied up in the value of your home. The only way to get at it will be to sell the home or borrow against you for your home equity. Take your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance, put it in your calculator, equals how much money you have to invest. That's how much money you have. That's how much money you have to invest right there. There you go. Without any liquid funds on hand, it will be more difficult to take advantage of investment opportunities. Put it this way, so you guys can get it. There are trillions of dollars in mortgage loan debt, trillions with a T, a big fat capital T. That's millions of people that just believe they are homeowners. Excuse me. They just believe they are homeowners. Just believe it. Pay your house off. Like your rent or your mortgage is your largest monthly expense that you will have your entire life. Pay your house off. You will never have rent and or mortgage for the rest of your life. The exact opposite of all, and you will be a true homeowner. While millions of unconscious slaves are walking around here calling themselves homeowners with 30, 40, 50-year mortgages, you will be a homeowner, and you will never have rent or mortgage again for the rest of your life. Imagine how fast your money will stack if you don't have a mortgage payment and or rent. There's not an investment on the market that will stack your dough any faster. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. All right, 7. You want to deduct mortgage interest. They want you to deduct something that you don't even need to have, that you don't even have to have. You don't even have to have a mortgage to deduct interest from. They do you unconscious slaves so dirty, right in your face, right in your face. One of the benefits of being a homeowner, stop saying that, is the ability to deduct interest you pay on a home loan on your tax form. You're not a homeowner, okay? And don't be proud to deduct interest from a loan that you don't even have to have in the first place, all right? Let's keep that going. Tax Cut Jobs Act 2007, federal income tax reform law. Trust me, if you've been in debt all your life, you have no idea how the tax system works. I promise you, you don't. You don't. You don't. If your student loan's older than your mortgage, you don't know how taxes work. I promise you, you don't. All that stupid nonsense, limits on deduction, blockety, blah, blah, blah. That only means those rules apply and they work for people who are not in debt. Those are people that follow the rules too, by the way. Okay. For loans taken out after December 17, most homeowners can deduct the interest paid up on a $750,000 house, blockety, blah, 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 married couples, blah, blah, blah. all this, man, I know you guys don't understand any of that. Okay. You just look where you fall and then you just apply. Okay. The previous limits were this 1 million for that mortgage interest itemized deduction. However, this means you can only take, blah. As a result, far few taxpayers are opt to itemize. Whatever. How to find it cheap. Okay. Whatever. All right. Now I'm gonna put this link up here because we only go on an hour. Okay. All right. We're 35 minutes in. Thank you, Nisa, for getting those likes up. Appreciate it. There's a link. Now, if you guys have any questions about this article, please feel free to jump up here and ask me these questions. All right, let's see who's up in here. I did give that shit out to Zeke, didn't I? Okay, yeah, I did. All right, cool. All Day Pay says, former slave checking in. Yep, you are a conscious slave. Or free. I don't know which one is that. Sup, Quentin, Aaron, Romy. Soon to Rise says, I believe the numbers on my 30-year mortgage. Now I'm closing next week and moving this week. So congratulations. Yeah. So just in time. Right now, you got to remember, right now slaves are buying up homes like hotcakes. This is what they put on the hook. They put awesome interest rates on the hook to get them to buy because it's going to trap them into the housing market prices of today. Okay. So when it crashes next year or the following year, whatever, it's going to crash, right? Slaves are going to be locked into the housing market prices of today. So when their house crashes is worth half of what they paid for, guess what? They're going to still be making the same payment, if not more. Okay. Carlos says, think they get you with the new cars. Right. That's a program too. Okay. Jaws 2003, shout out, $5 super chat. I've seen older people sell their homes after their kids leave. They claim it's because it's too much house to maintain. So many never get the title. Yeah. You got to look for the older people that say, when they say, man, I'm downsizing, you got to ask them, did you own your home or do you have a mortgage? Right. It's a big difference. Soon to Rise says, I sold my stock and crypto when I realized I was still in debt. Congratulations, Soon to Rise. Now, Soon to Rise, when you get out of debt, okay? When you get out of debt, now you can play in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency the correct way, okay? What's up, AJ?
LJ, can you hear me?
I can.
How you doing today, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So I had to jump in here, man. I know we had just talked about me paying off my car and all that stuff, and you talking about mortgages, and it's a topic that I've been thinking about lately. And it's funny because I put in the chat that I was having a debate with a friend of mine who has a mortgage, and we always talk about debt and investing and all that good stuff. And what he told me is that, look, man, my house is an asset to me. I can pay off my house I can sell my house today and make a profit. Therefore, this is not a liability to me. So I am technically debt free because I have no other debt, but this mortgage it's more than what is he said the house is worth more than what he owe. He can sell it and make a profit. Therefore,
all the slaves say that. They all say that. They don't know they all say the same thing, though. I want you to pay attention, AJ. They don't know that they're saying all the same thing. They don't know that.
Right. So I want to get your thoughts on that because it just made me think, like, I'm not really, knowledgeable about different types of mortgages. Mm-hmm. So,
what's your question? His response, or what are you wanting to know?
Is how true is that? And
how true is what? If that he's going to be ahead or something like that, or whatever.
Yeah, he'll be ahead if he decide today to sell his house.
That's slave talk.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you, if you see his personal credit report, it will not reflect of what he just told you. Oh, I'm debt free. So like this, you got to listen to the words they use. Okay. Hey, I'm basically debt free. There is no basically. You either are or you're not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
So He's using those words like just what he's heard. And I guarantee he thinks really believes he's a homeowner. So he obviously, if he knew negative numbers existed, he would know he's not a homeowner.
Yeah. And this is what he said too. He said that I have debt, but I could sell my house and pay my debt off. So he think it's okay that he have debt.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. That's
so
how slaves talk.
It's all just a big mess, in my opinion, because he's making things. He's not using math, in my opinion. He's just going by what people think.
No, don't. When you say that, use your words correctly too. Don't say, in my opinion, he's not using math. No, that's a fact.
Yeah.
He's not using math.
Yep.
You know, when you say, and that's for you too. I want you to, so you can slowly start hearing the slaves talk. When they use words like, I'm basically debt free, I can take this money, so you can take the bank's money and pay off your debt. No, you can't.
Yeah. Yep. So I got to, and that's my next move, is to get a house, but I'm not going to do it the slave way. So, and me and him had that conversation too, because he's like, well, you know, if you so-called debt free, you can go get a house today. Why are you waiting? You know?
See how they talk?
Yeah.
That's how see, I want you to understand how they talk. That's how you know he's not debt free, because you think an SMD family member would ever say something like that to you?
Right. Exactly.
Never. They would never say nothing like that to you, ever.
Yeah.
That's how you know he's a slave.
Yeah.
They all, now when you're ready for a house, so say like you do, because I'm not against mortgages. Okay. I'm not. All right. What I'm saying is this: knowing if you need to get a mortgage, I want you to go in. First of all, this is what I want you to understand. If you need a mortgage, you're going to go into the best bank in your city. Okay. You're going to walk into the biggest and the baddest bank in your city. You're going to walk in and say, I want the best mortgage that you have to offer in this bank, and I am not accepting anything less.
Yep.
Okay. And when you walk in and say, oh, you want that mortgage, they're going to look at you like that. First of all, nobody comes in the bank asking them, saying something like that. Okay. So they're going to know you're different right off the bat. Okay. They're good. I promise you, they're going to know. And then you say, I want the best mortgage. Then they're going to say, okay, we got to run your credit or whatever. And then they're going to run your shit. And then they're going to see you have zero debt.
Yep.
So right there, they're not going to even offer you anything less than the best, because the next question is, how much money are you going to have to put down? Because a loan like that usually requires at least 40% down.
Right.
But they wouldn't insult you with anything less, because they're going to see that you're not in debt.
Yeah.
That's how you pick the best mortgage. Whatever the best mortgage is in the United States of America, the year you're buying, that's the only one that you'll accept.
Yeah. So basically, down payment is irrelevant. Is that what you're saying? When it comes
to a house,
when it comes to getting the best mortgage?
No, the best way to do it is get a house cash.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Sure. Yeah.
All I'm saying is that if you have to get a mortgage, which you know you're going to be paying more for that house right off the bat, you got to understand that.
Yeah.
I don't care the house. If you say I'm getting a mortgage, whatever that sale price is that house is, it no longer applies to you.
Yeah.
So knowing that, you're going to say, okay, this is my only way right now, whatever. You're going to have to go with the requirements, because they're going to give you a list of requirements. Here's the requirements. And you're going to go down that list. And if you don't meet the requirements, you leave and don't come back until you do.
Right. Right.
That's it.
Yep. I got it. Yeah, man. When I bought my house, I was in my early 20s. I didn't know any better. I had a FHA loan, I remember. Yep. And man, you know, after my divorce, we sold the house. It was I was relieved, because at that point I knew about, you know, debt, and I was on my debt-free journey at that time.
Okay.
And
how old are you again?
I'm 40.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I learned a lot during that process, but I really don't know a lot about certain types of mortgages. I'm still learning that. But
see what I just told you?
Yep.
You don't have to learn anything.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Once you get totally out of debt, I promise you, this gift will be yours. You don't have to know anything about banking. You don't even know how to have about taxes.
Yeah.
If you want a good tax person, let me see your personal credit report. That'll tell me if you know about taxes.
Right. Okay.
That's it. Oh, that's kind of rude. I don't care if you think it's rude. That's my requirement.
It makes sense, man. Makes sense.
It does. You don't have to be. That's what's going to make your life so, especially at 40, man, because I woke up at your age.
Yeah. Your
life is going to change forever, man. It probably already started right now. It already has.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And so, and it's funny that, you know, I'm debt free now, but this is a whole new world. Like, these things that you're telling me is like, I have to still my whole mindset.
Yes. It's a whole different world. It is.
World, man.
And you'll adjust.
Yeah.
You'll know when to say something, when not to talk.
Right.
When not to get frustrated at slave splaining. You just walk away.
Okay.
You'll learn. You'll be like, man, just like the story you just told me about your friend. You're like, man, well, how could he think like that? Because he's programmed to think that way. Period.
Right.
If it wasn't for people like your friend, we couldn't be free.
Yep. That's true.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, thanks, LJ, man. Thanks for your time, man. I'm going to get out of here. I just want to jump in and have that discussion with you, and I'll put my headset in and listen to you in the chat.
You are welcome, sir. Thank you,
Thanks,
man. Thank you for sharing your journey, man. I appreciate it, especially those slave stories. I love slave stories.
Yeah, I'm gonna have more of them too. So,
oh yeah, you're gonna have them for the rest of your life.
That's right.
You're gonna have plenty. All right.
Yeah. All right, LJ.
All right, later, man. Yeah, they think slaves. You come out the debt matrix. You guys think slave stories end? They don't end. They get better and better. Look at cryptocurrency. Slaves think that shit is real. Go up to a slave. Hey, go up to a slave and say, "Hey, man, show me a Bitcoin. Put it in my hand. Put it right here in my hand. Put it in my hand." They're gonna look at you like, "What you mean? You can't touch it. We're going digital. The banks can't track it. They're doing this. Oh, poor slave. Poor slave." Oh, you logging into your account and you're seeing those numbers fluctuate and get real. They're not real, slave. You are the Bitcoin. Do you slaves know that? Do you know you're the Bitcoin? Let me help you understand that you're the Bitcoin. If you have student loans, if you're investing in Bitcoin while having student loans, you are the Bitcoin. If you have an FHA mortgage and you're investing in Bitcoin, you are the Bitcoin. You know, when I hear slaves you know what I hear when I hear about slaves investing in Bitcoin while they have student loan debt? I imagine a slave on the ground in chains, getting kicked all in the face and head. Their chains are just rattling. And you're saying, "Hey, man, just take the chains off and nobody can kick you." And they're like, nah, man, I just want to get more and more chains. They do you slaves so dirty. What's up, John Kennedy? What's going on? What's up, Andre? What's happening? Sundarai says these articles are used to encourage people to keep the economy going so they can keep on the job forever. The article wasn't written for the direction of making you free. Of course not. No, now let me make sure you guys understand something. The article, I understand its purpose. Those type of articles must be written. Those are important. That article I read to you is very, very important. It's to lead slaves all the way down the path in debt until they die. They must stay in debt until the end. Like, put it this way, and this is a hard truth, okay? The majority of you slaves have mentally accepted that you will never pay off your student loan debt. You've accepted that, all right? You will go all the way to your grave in debt. You've accepted that. So they know if you've accepted that you're not going to pay off your student loan debt, you are most definitely never going to pay off a house ever. You say like this, say like you had $100,000 in student loan debt, but you got a $300,000 house loan. If you couldn't pay off $100,000, you most definitely not paying off $300,000 plus interest and taxes and fees. You're not. FHA mortgages are designed specifically for slaves. Subprime mortgages are designed specifically for slaves. If you walk into a bank and asking them, "Can I be approved for an FHA mortgage?" you've told them every single thing they need to know about you. Because only a slave would voluntarily walk into a bank and voluntarily sign up for a subprime FHA mortgage. Only a slave would do that. Oh, hardly any money down, 3.5%. That's why it's designed for you, slave, because you have no money. So that looks good to you. 3.5% down on a $300,000 house. That looks good to you? Whatever. They hand you the keys and say you're a homeowner. You walking away believing it, getting on your social media. "Hey, look at me. Look what I did." You didn't do nothing. You didn't do anything. You're just a slave in the bank's house. You're not in it, and you're going to be there until retirement. Yes, hopefully. That's all up to your job. I guess I make a lot. I don't realize that. Hey, but this is what what I thought about this? I thought about this morning as I'm reading this article. I remember when I worked for Alaska Airlines, right? And I remember I was thinking about buying a house near my job, near the headquarters. And I remember I was thinking, and this thought popped in my head. This thought popped in my head. Am I really saying that if I buy this house close to my job, that I'm going to be working at my job for the next 30 years? Because what if I decide I'm not going to work at this place anymore and I decided I'm going to work in downtown Seattle, which was far away from the headquarters of Alaska, right? You know what kind of drive that would have been? I couldn't just say, hey, I got a new job. I'm leaving this house. No, no, sir. And here's another thing. How in the world did they get me to believe it takes 30 years of my life to pay off one house? How did they get me to believe, to sign on the dotted line and say, hey, bank, I promise you this money for the next 30 years of my life? 30 years? 30 years. That means if I financed a house when I was 20, which nobody's doing, young people are not financing houses at 20. If I bought a house at 20, I wouldn't pay it off until I was 50. Now, how many people are buying houses at 20? That's more like 30 and 40. You're saying you're going to pay that house off when you're 70 and 80? No, you're not. Only a slave would ever think that. Only a slave. SOBC says my bank just emailed me saying my credit score increased 56 points. They always send me saying my credit scores go down and up and down and up and down. I'm like, how do I turn off these notifications? Let me go in here and turn these notifications off. And what that is for, those notifications are for you slaves. So when you got to remember, you guys live by the credit business. Okay. That's a business. Okay. The only thing, the purpose of a credit score is this: to reward you for staying in debt. That score is for, it's a thank you for staying in debt score. Thank you. Thank you for staying in debt. That's the only thing it means. Doesn't mean anything else. So when they send out those alerts to say, hey, your credit score went down, you're like, oh my God, my credit score went down. What do I do? Let me hire somebody to clean it up. Oh my God, I'm panicking. For what? That's exactly what they want you to do. You know what happened? When they send me that's saying, hey, your credit score went down, I go, how can I go in here and turn off these alerts? I don't want to see that. I don't care. The world will never teach you to be free from bondage. Economy keeps going because of debt. Of course. Let me make sure I'm clear with this, okay? I'm not against the system. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's good. It's just there. It favors those who trust mathematics. Taxes favor those who trust mathematics. That's how it works. So put it this way. Like, for example, when you slaves lie on your taxes, okay, first of all, put it this, I keep jumping around because you don't really see this when you're in debt, right? They know all the money you're making right off the bat, okay? When you guys start lying, it's easy to see because you don't trust math and you don't know you don't trust math, okay? So whatever you're doing is not going to make any mathematical sense whatsoever. And if it doesn't make mathematical sense, it doesn't make financial sense, CNTS. So when the IRS comes knocking on your door, they already have the answers. That's why they're there. They wouldn't be there if they didn't have the answers, okay? I want you to clearly understand that. They're just coming to see if your answers match theirs. Their answers are right. Whatever is going on with yours is going to be wrong because you're a slave. So when you come up and you're like, hey, I didn't know that. I didn't know you guys kept track of that. Oh, was I supposed to tell you about that or whatever? And then you guys go buy houses and cars. Like you go out, don't pay your taxes, buy houses and cars and go on vacations and all this other stuff. And then they come knocking on the door and sit you down at the table. And then you go, hey, we noticed that you started this business and you did that. You made this much money. How come you haven't paid your taxes? And then you come to the table and say, well, I got a great lawyer. He's going to tell them they can't. What your lawyer is going to defy the laws of mathematics? Your lawyer is not going to do nothing. And then you're going to come to the table and say, hey, well, I didn't know. They're going to say, well, we saw that you went on vacation. You bought 2 new cars. You upgraded your house. You bought a new riding lawnmower. Shit, you took a few people to Super Bowl last year. You obviously knew you had the money, but you didn't know tax evasion was against the law. Is that what you're saying? As soon as you come in line, guess what? Not only are you going to pay all the taxes that you needed to pay, now it's going to be penalties and fees on top of that. Now they own you. You get spanked for not following the rules. Now, let's bring it down a level so you guys can get it. So say like you're a parent in the house and you got a 7-year-old in the house, right? And you say, hey, son, daughter, you got to clean your room every day after school, right? And then you come home every day and it's not cleaned. And then and you specifically told them what they had to do. And then you confront your child and say, hey, I told you to clean your room. How come you didn't clean your room? Oh, I didn't know you meant like clean. I just thought I thought you just meant that day or something, No, I told you every day. Oh, I just thought you meant that day. What are you gonna say? Oh, okay, all right, go ahead and go back in your. No, they get punished. That's the same thing for you. For all you sports fans, so you can understand how it works. Say like you're playing football and you go into the game and you start face masking people. You get one, and then you get a 15-yard penalty, and then you go and do it again. You think you're going to keep playing? They're going to kick you out the game. So when you do tax evasion, they're kicking you out the game for not playing by the rules. That's the same thing. Okay? You guys are so easy to see. I'm sorry for slaves. You guys, man. Nicer says, I am so shrewd. I got math fooled. Checkmate, check and mate. I'm going on mute now. Right. I know, right? Was debate. Oh, yeah. Okay. We talked about that. All right. I'm trying to catch up now. The only way you can take the bank's equity if you sell. You don't really take anything, I promise you. The article is very disrespectful to my common sense and it's an insult to my intelligence. Yes, it is. For people that understand, it's now at the same time, the way Hyphy's saying that, we both understand why they write that. Okay. It's business. All right. It's just business. All right. Traditions are against freedom. Traditions are all about keeping you stuck in patterns. And so, exactly. Oh, very well put. Very well put. I like that. You're right about that. They do. And I've never been the one to stick to stuff like that. Retired. Now, if there's any more questions, we're going to keep, like I said, we're going to keep this to an hour. If there's no questions, we ain't going longer than that. I'm retired at 56. Retired is awesome. Cool. Andre says you make your children retired. You can make your children retired at birth. Yeah, I like that. That's very well said right there. And let me explain that to you. Once you understand this, what S&D teaches is generational. You will naturally teach your children this method. And when I say method, you will naturally teach your children to always trust mathematics when it comes to money. Always see negative numbers, always. Negative, you will teach your children that negative numbers exist. I promise you that. Okay. Someone told me I was crazy because I used my 401k to pay off my house. Of course they think you were crazy. Of course. The bank wants you locked into that payment. Sure do. They don't want to let you go. You don't have any money to invest until you're debt free. Nope. The match encourages you to stay on the job for 5. That's exactly right. I like that. That's exactly what it does. Because it says, Hey, you're not vested until you're here for 6 years. That just says, hey, you're not getting shit until you stay here for 6 years. Nope, no thank you. Ask retired GE employees if they got a match. Ooh. Keep the gloves up. Keep the gloves up. Keep the gloves up, Andre. Keep the gloves. See, Andre does stuff like this, and then he takes off in his spaceship, right? Hey, blaggity, blah, blah, blah. Who said that? Who said that? What the? They want slaves to use perceived leverage finance. Exactly. They believe financing is leverage. They sure do. They say it all the time. Just check out the channels. Cosmic says you can avoid all of that if you pay your house off before you retire. You sure can. Avoid it all. All right, that thing jumped up. Did I shout that out to you? I've seen older people, kids, they claim it's because it's too. Oh, yeah. Okay, I did that. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Nicer. All right. Got to wrap this up here soon. I got a fresh haircut, so I decided I'm going to get on camera. All right. Well, because you guys, a lot of you guys always tell me about my facial expressions that I don't realize that I make. So James says, I'll pull my mask back down, LJ. Hey, you guys, hey, I keep telling you, S&D family members, pull your mask out in public if you want to. I ain't doing it. Unless I'm up on stage. If I'm on stage, cool. But if I'm down amongst slaves, I'm not pulling my mask down in public. I'm not doing that. Hey, you need to wear a mask in here. See, look, I'm just like you guys. I'm just like you. Well, all that can change depending on the market. If the market is good, he can profit. If it's bad market, then he can profit with the home. Counts on it. The only person that profits is the person that's not in debt. Doesn't matter. The investment doesn't matter, because I want you guys to clearly understand something. When it comes to your finances, zero begins with you. Zero. If you are not zero in your personal finances, everything outside of you does not make mathematical sense. It doesn't. What's up, John? James says, I have a question for you, LJ and the family. I was told I was wrong paying off properties before paying credit card debt. I want family views. I was told I was wrong paying off properties before paying off credit card debt. When you're using the word property, I'm assuming that you're talking about for rental properties. If you're talking rental properties, you're talking business debt. I'm not against business debt. It's crazy. My friend think he owns his house with the 30-year loan. He sure does. He is highly mistaken, but it must be that way. Ivy says this article is a play being ran by the bank. Sure is, on the miseducation of homeowners. Yes, it is, for sure. The banks are brilliant. They've been at this for generations. What do you think of a 20-year and 10-year mortgage rates? I don't really care. All I say is this: only accept the best mortgage. Which type of mortgage to get? Only accept the best mortgage in the United States of America. That's what I say. LJ, did you pay on a mortgage for more than 5 years? Did I? No, I was never in my houses that long. I was always out after about 3 years, maybe 4. I never stayed in my house that long. Cosmic says, if you have a mortgage on a primary home and can only make two mortgage payments, you can't afford the house. Unless you are making extra principal only payments, don't get the house. Exactly, don't. So many flaws in that article. I caught that LJ didn't address. Oh, I'm sure. I was skipping over a lot of it. I'm sure I was, because after a while, sometimes it just sounds like garbity goop. You're just like, oh yeah, do this, do that. They just be telling slaves what to do. If someone has $150,000 in 401k retirement but owe $50,000 in student loans, are they still in the red? If someone in 401k retirement but owe $50,000 in this particular, okay, the math scenario that you have given me in this statement No, they are not mathematically in the red. Okay. They're not. Okay. Because 150,000 minus 50,000 is 100,000. Okay. What's up, No Country? Tech, oops. Tech says, I can't believe it woke up yesterday to go to work at 5:30, and wow, they really broke my shit. Can't believe it. Good luck with them collecting any what? Who did what? Never find. Oh, okay, wait. Never financed a car ever again in my life. Can't wake up yesterday to go to work at 5:30. Oh, they repossessed your car with them collecting any money from me now. I was only one payment behind. Uh Consider that, because you sound, by the way you're typing, you sound very angry. All right. What they did for you was a blessing. All right. They helped you. Okay. They helped you. They assisted you getting out of car payments. Okay. And right now, millions of cars are being repossessed. So the likelihood of them coming after you is probably not going to come after. There's millions of people getting their car repossessed. All right, well, we're gonna wrap this up. 150 is non-guaranteed. $50,000 student loan is usually a big difference. Yeah, see, that's why I said according to the math that you just showed me on this thing, on the comment. That's why I said, but the bigger picture, I guarantee you, if somebody has $150,000 in a 401k, but they've had $50,000 in student loan debt for the last 10 years, the 9 times out of 10, they got more debt than that. I promise you. Well, like, yeah, John Kennedy's right, Tech. If they decide to come after you for the balance, they're going to do that. But what I'm saying, I'm not saying that they're not. I'm just saying the probability of that is low because there are millions of people getting cars repossessed. They cannot possibly come after everybody for that money. They probably will pick just their top big ticket item people and work their way down. All right. All right, we're going to have to wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I appreciate it. I'm glad I got on camera for you guys. You guys have been asking me to do that. I appreciate it. I hope you guys love these article reads. If you do, we can continue to do them. I appreciate it. All right, so that's it. All right, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. All right, until next time. See you later.